This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
It's precisely 6:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Anjana Dodangoda, read by Sabrina Zawahir. The headlines. The Prime Minister says provincial council and local government laws should change on par with time. Sri Lanka's vision for the Indian Ocean, a new nexus of security, economy and environmental harmony unveiled. IMF's first review of bailout program for Sri Lanka gets underway. Government to recall retired doctors specialists for service to address shortage. Government allocates 500 million rupees to encourage farmers for greenhouse cultivation. Train engine drivers end strike. Services return to normal from today. And in world news, Vladimir Putin says military cooperation with Kim Jong-un a possibility. And in sports, Sri Lanka-Pakistan Asian Cup Super 4 round match is limited to 45 overs. Now the local news in detail. The Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said in a provincial council and local government laws should change on par with the time. He said this today while attending the progress review of the Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government. Speaking on this occasion, the Prime Minister stated that there is a strong objection from the people that solid waste management is not being done properly in the Western Province, especially in Gampaha and Colombo districts. A vast amount of garbage is accumulated daily. The garbage problem in the Western Province has been identified in the Megapolis plan. Mitotamulla garbage dump collapsed. Still no proper measures have been taken for waste management. If a sudden flood occurs, the entire Colombo district will be submerged. Even Gampaha district will be submerged. These issues should be concerned from the public perspective. Local government bodies have come into existence to provide facilities and satisfaction to the people in our areas. Even if they are forced to pay taxes, they pay taxes while expecting something in return. It includes many matters such as services, safety, development of children, good environment, etc. In the absence of provincial councils, the governors have been entrusted with a certain amount of power. This ministry has the possibility to intervene or give directions to implement these powers. There are 9 provincial councils. As officials, constant discussions must be conducted with the provincial councils. The inaugural meeting for the International Monetary Fund's first review of the Extended Fund Facility Program for Sri Lanka commenced in Colombo today. In a statement, Finance State Minister Shehan Semasinghe said Sri Lankan officials are collaborating closely with the IMF team throughout this process to overcome the challenges ahead. The Sri Lankan government is fully committed to establishing a sustainable economy, Semasinghe assured. We recognize the importance of working closely with all multilateral institutions, development partners, and our friendly nations. We wish to thank the IMF team for the support extended to Sri Lanka. Minister of Health Kehelia Rambakwella says the government has decided to recall retired doctors and specialists for service on contract basis. The move aims to address the prevailing doctor shortage at hospitals due to brain drain prompted by the economic crisis. Minister Rambukwala said a proposal pertaining to the decision would be submitted to the Cabinet of Ministers. A substantial number of doctors and specialists in Sri Lanka have recently immigrated to foreign countries in search of better remuneration and quality of life. As a result, the operations of a number of hospitals remain disrupted. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Excelsior. Live the life you want.
Continuing local news, the strike launched by the Locomotive Operating Engineers Association based on several demands has been called off following discussions with railway authorities. The union has informed the General Manager of Railways, WADS Gunasinghe, that the 2-day strike ended yesterday and the striking train drivers will return to work today. Accordingly, the trains will operate as usual, the railway authorities informed. Due to the 2-day strike, train traffic was disrupted and passengers were severely inconvenienced, resulting in the death of 2 passengers after they had fallen from crowded trains. The government has allocated 500 million rupees for this year to encourage farmers to popularize vegetable cultivation in polytunnels. Minister of Agriculture Mahinda Amaravira said that accordingly 30 farmers will be selected from each district covering all the districts of the country and they will be given 500,000 rupees as a 50% subsidy. The Minister of Agriculture yesterday held a discussion with the officials of the Agrarian Development Department regarding the cultivation program in the greenhouses. Mr. A.H.M.L. Aberatna, Commissioner General of Agrarian Development Department, and senior officials of the department participated in the discussion. The strike launched by the Locomotive Operating Engineers Association based on several demands has been called off following discussions with railway authorities. The union has informed the General Manager of Railways, WADS Gunasinghe, that a 2-day strike ended yesterday and the striking train drivers will return to work today. Accordingly, the trains will operate as usual, the railway authorities inform. Due to the 2-day strike, train traffic was disrupted and passengers were severely inconvenienced, resulting in the death of 2 passengers after they had fallen from a crowded trains. That ends local news.
People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The President's Senior Advisor on National Security and the President's Chief of Staff, Sagal Ratnayaka, unveiled a bold vision for the Indian Ocean region. The event was attended by notable figures including President Ranil Wickremesinghe, former Speaker Karuja Surya and high-ranking diplomats. The event highlighted Sri Lanka's pivotal role in shaping the future of this strategically vital region. The President's Senior Advisor attended as the keynote speaker at the geopolitical cartographer discussion on the Indian Ocean and Indo-Pacific dimensions of recent high-level visits. He commenced the discussion by highlighting the profound transformation of the Indian Ocean from a mere maritime trade route to a global nexus encompassing security, economics, environmental concerns, social issues and strategic interests. He further emphasized that the implementation of a robust reform program which is poised to bring harmony to the Indian Ocean with its commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific, while noting that the national interests of individual states significantly influence the international system. He also underscored Sri Lanka's unique position in the Indian Ocean region, highlighting the nation's ongoing economic recovery following the COVID-19 pandemic and the implementation of robust reform and revival programs. These initiatives have positioned Sri Lanka to play a crucial role in fostering harmony within the Indian Ocean. That was main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the University Grants Commission says applications are accepted from today for university admissions for the academic year 2022 and 23. Its chairman, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, mentioned that the applications can be submitted online via the UGC's official website, that is www.ugc.ac.lk, until October 5th. Last week, he revealed that the government plans to enroll a total of 45,000 students in state universities for the new academic year. The results of the 2022-2023 advanced level examination were released on September 4th. A total of 232,797 school applicants and 31,136 private applicants had sat for the exam, which was held from January 23rd to February 17th this year. Meanwhile, the examinations department has begun accepting applications for the re-scrutiny of exam results. The deadline for submitting applications is September 16th. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
It's the power to live life your way. The power to be a trendsetter. Power to you with digital banking from Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
Moving on to the headlines of the world news, Vladimir Putin says military cooperation with Kim Jong-un a possibility. Rival governments cooperate to aid Libya's flood victims as misery piles on. Indian authorities rush to contain a deadly Nipah virus outbreak in Kerala. Now the world news in detail. North Korea's Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin have discussed possibilities for military cooperation in a highly scrutinized meeting for a suspected arms deal. The pair met on Wednesday at the Vostochny Space Center after Mr. Kim arrived in a private armored train. Mr. Putin Pyongyang developed satellites. The U.S. says Moscow is buying weapons for its war on Ukraine and warned any help would violate UN resolutions. Mr. Putin has also accepted an invitation from Mr. Kim to visit North Korea. The state have visited the closed-off state. Domestic efforts to aid survivors are on despite political fractions amid international efforts. A global effort to assist Libya's countless victims also gathered pace today. On Wednesday evening, a Turkish ship carrying equipment to set up 2 field hospitals in Libya with 148 medical staff left the city of Izmir, according to Turkey's health minister Farhentin, in addition to 3 aircraft of humanitarian aid as well as rescue and medical teams to Ankara sent on Tuesday. It has now been more than 3 days since Libya's eastern port city of Derna was practically flattened as Storm Daniel unleashed its wrath on a city that was mostly fast asleep. Osama al-Hazadi, a 52-year-old driver, has been searching for his wife and 5 children since the storm struck on Sunday night, bursting dams above the city, the resulting floods engulfing everything in their path. A state in southern India is taking measures to contain an outbreak of the Nipah virus after 2 people died from a rare and oftenly deadly disease, shutting schools and testing hundreds to prevent its spread. The Kerala's chief minister said the virus has been detected in the states of Kozhikode district, urging residents to exercise caution and follow the health department's safety guidelines. 2 people have died from the virus, he said in a statement yesterday, the state's 4th outbreak since 2018. That ends World News. Prior to concluding the headlines of the World News once again, Vladimir Putin says military cooperation with Kim Jong-un a possibility. Rival governments cooperate to aid Libya's flood victims as misery piles on. Indian authorities rush to contain a deadly Nipah virus outbreak in Kerala. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
This message is for all the kids between the ages of 4 and 16 who love to draw. Commercial Bank's Arunalu Sittam is back once again. This competition is also open to Sri Lankan kids currently living abroad. First, second and third place prizes will be awarded along with special merit and merit certificates. For more information, visit the Commercial Bank website. We have so many prizes to be won.
Development News.
Port City, Colombo proudly took centre stage as the gold sponsor of the prestigious I3 Summit by Khaleej Times in Dubai, which was held under the theme Redefining Innovation, Inspiring Change and Shaping the Future of Business. This key sponsorship strategically captured the attention of the global investor community whilst highlighting Port City, Colombo's unwavering commitment to nurturing innovation and fostering collaboration in the region. It firmly reinforces Port City Colombo's dedication to propelling innovation and driving positive change within the thriving business and startup ecosystem. That was development news. Moving on to sports news. Pakistan won the toss and elected to bat first at Super 4 round match of Asia Cup 2023 between Pakistan and Sri Lanka at R. Premadasa Stadium today. The match commenced at 5:15 p.m. with 45 overs per side due to the match being delayed by rain. Pakistan scored 9 runs for 1 wicket in 4 overs a short while ago. That was sports news.
Go ekakthiyana youth kat life ke change kat niyameta set penna as wagena dagapuina habe karana youth kat niyameta set penna friendship ekamenna.
The all new NSB Itru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
SLT Mobitel, the national ICT solutions provider, is partnering with Lanka Realty Investments PLC, a leading real estate developer, to bring advanced fibre solutions and cutting-edge connectivity to the Mulberry residential complex, redefining the concept of modern living. The agreement was signed by Imantha Vijayakon, Chief Business Officer, Consumer Business of SLT Mobitel, and Dushmantha Kasun, Director, Asset Management of Mulberry Holdings Private Limited. Senior officials from both companies also participated in the event. That was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth kat life ke change kat niyameta set penna as wagena dagapuina habe karana youth kat niyameta set penna friendship ekamenna.
The all new NSB Itru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news. As there are orders from many countries for Sri Lanka's Ambul bananas, the Ministry of Agriculture has decided to set up the third Ambul banana export processing factory in Muravasi Hena area of Hambantota at a cost of 65 million rupees. Arrangements have been made to start the third Ambul banana export processing zone in 800 acres of land covering Ambilipitia, Hambantota and Savanagala areas. The first Ambul banana export processing zone and processing centre have been established in Rajangana. In addition, the second Ambul banana export processing zone has been established in Jaffna. That was economic news.
Weather report.
Finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and southern provinces and in Kandy and Nuwara districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in Uva province and in Batticaloa and Ampara districts during the evening or night. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in western slopes of the Central Hills, northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. That was the weather report. Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. The Prime Minister says provincial council and local government laws should change on par with the time. Sri Lanka's vision for the Indian Ocean, a new nexus of security, economy and environmental harmony, unveiled. IMF's first review of bailout program for Sri Lanka gets underway. Government to recall retired doctors, specialists for service to address shortage. Government allocates 500 million rupees to encourage farmers for greenhouse cultivation. Train engine drivers end strike. Services return to normal from today. That concludes the news.